Would be delighted to do that, Bill, and we thank you for those introductions. All right, in row 1, car number 97, Alan Kulwicki. Car number 36, Joe Shear. In row number 2, car number 188, Bob Strait. Car number 37, Dave Watson. In row number 3, car number 11, Pat Schauer. Car number 34, Jim Sauter. In row number 4, car number 199, Ray Young. Car number 1, Ed Hoffman. In row 5, car number 2, Mark Martin. Car number 99, Dick Trickle. In row 6, car number 18, Mike Miller. Car number 7, Dave Evans. In row 7, car number 94, Bobby Gunn. Car number 00, Len Reimer. In row number 8, car number 5, Bobby Dotter. Car number 9, John Spear. In row number 9, car number 3, John McPartlin. Car number 14, Frank Golinski. In row 10, car number 98, John Knaus. Car number 22, Ken Lund. In row number 11, car number 15, Rich Bickle. Car number 63, Larry Hicks. In the next row, car number 25, Mel Wallen. And car number 114, Jim Blount. In the next row, car number 17, Fran Preste, and car number 60, Bart Reinen. And in the back row, cars number 67, Mike Barlas, and car number 88, Tom Refner. That's our field. It's an impressive field, and we approach now the magic moment when the 14th Annual National Short Track Championship will get underway. Bill?
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really know whether you recognize how hard Hugh Derry and everybody here worked to put this race on for you, but I wish that you would welcome one of the truly great gentlemen in short track racing. He has a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hugh Derry.
First of all, let me say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to Rockford Speedway and for the 14th Annual National Short Track Championships. Myself, my wife Jody, our 8 kids, and our 50-some employees appreciate your being here more than we can tell. We don't have time to say it to everybody, but you are truly the race fan, cream of the crop, the cream of American racers fans, and we welcome you here. God bless every one of you. We're going to give you a show here today that you can't find anywhere in this world. I want to thank again everybody that came, and I'll tell you why I'm speaking now. Another reason, we have a 10-to-1 bet that we're going to start at 2 o'clock. We apologize for what we did to you last year, and at 2 o'clock you're going to be overcome with the roar of high-powered engines. We're going to start on time like we promised you. So thanks again for coming, and we hope to see you again next year. Just a word from my wife.
Hello, everybody, and come back again next year.
Okay, no, wait. Bill, you introduce them and have them say.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final tradition at this race every year is one that we've grown very accustomed to. We're going to ask Mr. and Mrs. Derry to say those famous words that you hear at every racetrack to get this one going. Ladies and gentlemen, the Derrys together in a cappella. What have you got to say?
Gentlemen, start your engines!
That is the roar of racing engines, and this is the moment that you have waited for. You've been partying and talking and having fun and watching races and watching novelty events now for the better part of 3 days. It's time for the National Short Track Championship. There they are, great field of cars. They've worked hard, they've qualified to get into this one. Many of the top short track drivers in the country are here today. The top short track drivers in the country are here today, and they are ready to go. Obviously, you are ready to go, and we were south side now. Let's let them hear it over there, south side. Make some noise for them. Wave, programs, hats, handkerchiefs. Let them know you're behind them, that you want them to get out there and really move them in this 200 laps. The Rockford Speedway pace car with John Deere Jr. at the wheel, moving down onto the infield out of the way. They'll be taking some laps to get those tires properly warmed up. You can see them down there swerving the cars back and forth, trying to scuff those tires in a little bit, get them up to operating temperature. And again, we want to remind you that somewhere between the 101st and the 110th lap, at an unannounced time, there will be a mandatory 19.5-minute pit stop. They will be stopped, the yellow flag will come out, they'll run under the yellow for a couple of laps, and then the red flag will come out to halt the action for 19.5 minutes, give them an opportunity to do whatever they need to do on those cars. And we've got trouble early. Alan Kulwicki in car number 97, bogged down in the backstretch, may just be waiting for the field to drop into his starting position. We'll see. The car appears to be running all right. Alan apparently experiencing some trouble dropping in now in the pole position. He is our pole position car. He was just waiting for him over there. They had some last minute trouble with that car, and he came out during some of the introductions. All right, they're getting the signal that they may be set to go now. Let's watch them. Dwayne Schrittman drops the green flag, and they are off in the 14th annual with Joe Shear in car number 36, moving away from him as they head down the backstretch and into the corner, moving down to the starting line with only 199 laps left to go. Oh, trouble on the back straightaway, and the first car is out of it very early. It's car number 60, Bart Ryden, heading into the pits at the end of lap 1. Did not even complete a lap, and Bart Ryden is out of it. Bart Ryden in car number 60 out of Jefferson, Wisconsin, is the first car into the pits. Joe Shear leads it. The traffic very heavy back along the line. Ruffner heading for the pits. Tom Ruffner heads for the pits in car number 88. Ruffner is out of it for the moment. A little smoke was showing from the car, some smoke showing out of the car, and he is into the pits. Tom Ruffner out of it very early. Dave Evans in car number 7 is trailing smoke, and Mike Miller has spun down onto the infield in the first turn. Miller in car number 18 spinning onto the infield in the first turn, bringing out the first yellow of the race. Excitement starting early with Tom Ruffner in car number 88, who started in tailback position, showing a little smoke in the first couple of laps and dropping out into the pits for a check of something. Now we can't see, they've loaded it. Ruffner's car is on the hauler in the pits. He is out of it. Tom Ruffner is out of the race. The car went right up on the hauler. He is coming out of the car right now. The helmet is off, sitting on top of the car down there. Those of you sitting on this side, if you look to your left, you can see Tom Ruffner's car on the hauler in the pits. He's got his helmet off and getting ready to pack things up. Tough luck for Tom Ruffner from Rudolph, Wisconsin. The day ending very, very early for one of the pre-race favorites. We talked to a number of people down in the concourse area earlier today that were Tom Ruffner fans. And of course, Tom was out there earlier giving a number of our younger fans and some of the not so young fans a ride around the track. And that's something that we hate to see, is one of the pre-race favorites putting it on the hauler early on. Also dropping out, the first car out was Bart Ryden of Jefferson, Wisconsin in the 78 Camaro, car number 60. Ryden going out right at the end of lap number 1. Scoreboard, the RC Cola scoreboard, which will keep you posted on the top 3 positions, and point out to you also that no yellow flags count. No yellow flag laps count. Bart Ryden is back on deck in car number 60. Ryden in car number 60 is back out. And Joe Shear up front in car number 36, followed by Watson and by Bob Strait in car number 188. then by Jimmy Sauter in 34, by Pat Shower in the 11 car, and Ed Hoffman in car number 1. And there's car number 63, Larry Hicks, onto the infield and perhaps out of the race. Going to have trouble getting through that traffic if he wants to get back into the pits. There's really not much of a break in that traffic. Into turn 3 goes Joe Shear, a driver who knows this track about as well as anyone, and the only driver who has won the National Short Track Championship 3 times. Trickle has won it twice. Shear has won it 3 times. Bob Strait now putting the pressure on Watson. Looked like he was going to try the inside down the front straightaway, but he backed out of it. Tight, close battle up front. Shear, Watson, Strait, Sauter, Shower, Hoffman, Young, Trickle, and Martin all stringing out and all moving rapidly. All in the same straightaway. And the leaders now are going to get into some heavy going. Heavy traffic coming up for the leaders now. Watch them out there. That traffic can make a lot of difference. Keep an eye on the traffic now as Shear comes in behind Ken Lund in 22. Lund gets the blue flag signal out there, letting him know that the hot dogs are coming up behind him. Now they move in behind the number 14 car. Number 114 car, I should say, of Jim Blount out of La Paz, Indiana, and Mel Rowland of Shakopee, Minnesota, in car number 25, who are making a little bit of a roadblock for the leaders out there now, and it is tight, close going. On the turn, a spin by Alan Kulwicki, backs it down off the track, and look out! Car number 3 spun to try to avoid that car coming down across the track. The number 3 of Johnny McPartland spun it, and he was hit by Knaus in the number 98 car. John Knaus ran up over the front end of the McPartland car, and then Ray Young in the number 199 car spun it to avoid getting into that pileup. He didn't get into the other 2 cars, I don't believe, but he's sitting there as part of the accident, and the number 114 car of Jim Blount was also involved in that. He's back underway. Yes, Young did get into the other 2 cars, or got into Blount's car, one or the other, because the right front corner of Ray Young's number 199 is pretty badly crunched up. Ray is out of the car with his helmet off, looking over the damage. Once again, we want to ask those of you up in the top row of the grandstands if you will kindly keep your seats. In fact, everybody stay seated as much as possible. We know you got to get up and stretch a little bit to wring out the muscles. And after the partying and celebrating that's been going on the last couple of nights, those muscles need a lot of stretching. So stretch and move around a little bit if you want to, but we do ask you please, if you would, to keep your seats. Well, there's the note of Matter Recreation Cross Flag Center. That's the camper and trailer that many of you have been visiting down in the pits. The Flying Freight is going to give a goal to all of the National Short Track Championship. We're going to take a look at the racing jewelry and souvenirs that series own action. And there is coming off of John Knaus with the front end of it pretty badly folded up. The bumper is pushed way back up into the sheet metal on the right front corner, and John probably has some possibility of that sheet metal being into the tire there. They're, I don't know, they have the car to be picked up. All right, coming back on deck, Larry Hicks of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin nope, not yet. The green is not yet out. It is still yellow. And here's car number 3 back out. We didn't think we'd see that one quite so soon. Johnny McPartlin of Chicago with a considerably lightened up Camaro. Car number 3 missing most of the front end fiberglass. But the car looks like there's a piece just fell off of it over there in the backstretch. Probably some very hasty sheet metal work going on to get that car. All right, they're holding until they get that piece of fiberglass or metal or whatever it is that's in the middle of the straightaway over there removed. That came off of car number 3 when he came back out. They undoubtedly did some very hasty trimming of that torn up fiberglass and sheet metal on that car, and they had a little piece of it hanging loose in there that came out. Over now, he's giving him the signal one more time, and the green is back out. On each restart, the tires are going to be cooled somewhat, and makes for interesting racing up front. They've got to go as fast as they can to avoid being passed, but they can't go as fast as they want to go because those tires are not up to racing temperature for at least 2 or 3 laps, even with the sun out. All the cars in this race today are on exactly the same rubber, the McCreary Y2 or Y3 compound tires. It is Shear in 36, Watson in 37, 188 Bob Strait, Trickle in 99, 2 Mark Martin, winner way up into the wall that time when car number 63, he tagged it. Car number 63, Larry Hicks, tagged the wall. He's coming out of the infield. I don't know whether he got into it hard enough to damage the car, but he's pulling it down to the infield. He may be out of it. Larry Hicks in car number 63, driver out of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. All right, watch the leaders now. They're about to get back into the traffic, including a side-by-side battle between Shower and Kulwicki. Shower going out front now in that battle and spreading him out a little bit, so Shear has a clear run at the outside. The leaders once again getting into the traffic now. Onto the infield, Bart Reinen in car number 60. Had trouble early in the race, was the first car into the pits, and now he is out of it and parking it for the day. Bart Reinen in car number 60, gonna park it for the day. Attrition rate is high in this one today. We're dropping a lot of cars early on. Ruffner is out for the race. Miller is out for the race. 63, Larry Hicks is out. Bart Reinen is out in car number 60. All right, the leaders in heavy going down there now. They're bottled up for the moment. Shear doing a masterful job working that traffic. He's coming out of there like nobody's business, and he's going to get some cars between himself and Watson now, and that's what he wants to do. That's the name of the game, is get traffic between yourself and the cars that are pursuing you. And now Watson gets around the I guess that's the number 9 they've made out of the 5. Number 9, John Spear of Janesville, Wisconsin. All right, Shear all by himself out in the clear for the moment. And Watson, Straight, Trickle, and Martin all coming off of that turn. All of them in the same straightaway. Not letting the leaders get away from them out there. Back along the line, I believe we're looking at Hoffman in 6th in car number 1. Then Evans in 7th in car number 7. Then the number 94, Bobby Gunn. 14, Frank Golinski. And then Jim Sauter in the number 34 car. Len Reimer in 00 and 25, Mel Rowland. Those are the top 12 or so unofficially as of this moment. All right, car number 3, Johnny McPartland, appears to be dropping something out there. We were trying to get a close look at that as he came down the last time. Got some smoke coming out from under the tail end on it. He's moving it very rapidly, but maybe having additional troubles with that car. As the leader's right now moving past McPartland on the outside. He stays down in there behind the number 67 car of Mike Barlas. Once again, Shear is out into the lead, and he's trying to put some distance between himself and Watson. Bob Straight now under pressure from Dick Trickle in the number 99 car, and Trickle is closing on him rapidly. Trickle now working on Straight in car number 188. Watch the battle, and Mark Martin is right behind him. So right now, the challenge is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th in this race, between Straight in 88, Trickle in 99, and Mark Martin in 2. Through the traffic and out into the front straightaway come the leaders. And headed for the pits is car number 3. He was indeed having trouble dropping something out there. Johnny McPartland is out of it in car number 3, headed for the pits. Shear now moving in behind Rich Pickle in car number 15 and diving for the inside. And he's going to get pocketed down there. Shear for the moment is going to get pocketed. And he moves right back up behind Pickle. Figures that's going to be the quick way around the 67 car of Barlas, and it is. And Watson almost had it in there on the inside. Watson in car number 37 almost had it down there on the inside. Watson and Shear still running the numbers 36 and 37. Ran as a team for many, many seasons. Good strong run by Bob Straight of Flossmoor, Illinois, Chicago suburb, as he hangs in there in a strong 3rd position with Dick Trickle all over him in car number 99. All right, they are 1/4 of the distance out there right now. They're 50 laps down, 150 remaining. Now it's 51 laps completed. They're just over the 1/4 mark in this 14th annual National Short Track. And a good one it has been. Shear into the front straightaway now, and he's looking at some more heavy traffic coming up. The traffic has been moving over very nicely down there. There's been so far very little problem for the leaders. with that number of cars out there on a tight quarter-mile track, you're bound to get into some traffic pinches every now and then, but so far it's been pretty clear going for the leaders. They've had just minor traffic blockages. This looks like a real jam up coming up in front of them right now, however. Anytime the leaders come up looking at two cars running side by side, they're going to have troubles. And now it clears out and goes into single file ahead of the leaders. And Shear goes around the top of the number 9 car of John Spear. Moves in behind Sauter in 34, Golinski in 14, and Bobby Gunn in 94. They're all moving pretty well. In fact, they're all up in the top 10 or 12 cars. And Shear is right now about to get a lap on some of the other cars in the top 10 or 12 positions as he closes now on Sauter, Golinski, Gunn, and Evans. Blue flag is out. All right, here's Shear moving around Sauter. Watson closing in, looking for the opportunity in traffic. And it spreads out into single file ahead of the leaders. The lap cars behaving themselves very, very well this afternoon. There's Shear picking up a lap right now in the 94 of Bob Gunn. All right, Joe Shear moves down to complete lap number 62 in this 200-lapper. And now he's got some traffic between himself and Watson, and he's getting away just a little bit as Watson got momentarily tied up behind Bobby Gunn in car number 94. Gunn and Sauter have moved it over now to the inside as that big, fast freight train comes flying down the outside groove to move by those lapped cars. Watson gets out of there. Straight getting out after him now, and Trickle, who's been biding his time, watching and waiting in the number 99 car, moves out behind Straight. He's been looking Straight over pretty carefully, watching where he's going, and Trickle now is seeing Shear get away from him now by the better part of the straightaway, and I don't think he's going to wait very long before he makes his move. And now we've got some tough traffic coming up ahead of the leaders. The blue is out for them, and the yellow is out. Yellow is out as Dave Evans of the number 7 car loops the loop up there in the turn. We've got some oil up there in the turn apparently, and the broom squad is going to be called into action. Somebody laying down a stripe of either water or oil up there. Clem Drosty, one of our technical inspectors, Clem of the Wisconsin Racing Association, shooing him down to the inside and getting the groove cleared out where that stripe has been laid down so we can get the truck out there and work it over. Okay, it may have been the number 7 car of Dave Evans, which had been smoking a little bit earlier on in the race that left that spillage out there. It was Evans who spun, but we were speculating that he spun in somebody else's spillage, but they say now that the number 7 car has gone into the pits to check that. No, he isn't. He's on the center with the tow truck behind him. Our view of him was blocked by this pillar in the corner of the booth up here.
Well,
McPartland has come back out to join the field in car number 3. He's had some kind of a problem with that ever since the earlier crunch at lap 17. They've had some smoke showing out from under the back end and perhaps a little spillage. We heard the officials on the intercoms asking one another to take a look at car number 3 for spillage, and he did go into the pits, so presumably they've found the leak and got him back out into the action, but he's well behind now, lost a lot of time out there. Is holding him way down because he wants some clear space to run in when the green comes out. They're going to go another under yellow. Shear is going to hold him down to give himself some running room. Once the green comes out, he turned it on a little bit over there in the backstretch just to check it out. Coming down now, they may be ready. No, they're going to take one more. Phil Grunley giving him the signal to take one more. I think they want to be sure that oil dry has all had a chance to do its work and is kicked up out of that running groove before they get him back under green. Green is out. They're back underway right now. And they are going into lap number 67. Lap 67 working right now. All right, the tires have cooled off. You can see it. They are not working nearly as well in the turns, especially turn 3 and 4, which seems a little more critical. Shear is going away from them a little bit now, but they're backing it way down into the wall and into it pretty hard is Hoffman in car number 1. Ed Hoffman in car number 1 blowing down the front straightaway. And he scattered the engine, that big 440. I think he's okay. They're checking him over right now. Let's watch and see, but he got it in there very hard. And car number 17 slid in behind him in the oil. That's Fran Preste of Silver Lake, Wisconsin, that slid in behind Hoffman when he got into the wall. Now, and getting ready to get the helmet off. Sad way to end it. He was running in 6th, but let's tell him right now that we're very glad that he wasn't hurt because he got into that wall hard. Ed Hoffman, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we can give you those unofficially back beyond the top 5. We'll try and confirm them for you as we go along. They're getting the signal that the green is ready to come out. It'll be one more, says Phil Gronley. All right, it's 67 laps and holding. Here come the leaders. Joe Shear leading him in. He's been in the lead all the way so far, and he moves him down to the line. The green is out, and they're back underway. And you can tell the tires are cooled off. They're picking their way rather carefully through 3 and 4. And they're going to have a whole lot of slick stuff in that first turn for a while until it gets well blown off to the top of the track. Anybody gets up a little bit too high going into that first turn is going to be in trouble. Shear taking it in right in the middle in car number 36. Five cars are still in the current lap with one another, still in the lead lap. 36 Shear, 37 Watson, 188 Straight, 99 Trickle, and Mark Martin in 2 are all in the current lap. All other cars are at least one lap down to the leaders. The 5 leaders have been hanging very close together, and Shear bogging down, coming out of that third turn, and Watson looked like he made a little contact with him just out of the turn and into the front straightaway. It appeared that Dave Watson made contact with the rear end of Shear's car. Shear appeared to get off it. And that time Shear got up rather high coming out of turn 2, and again Watson was in there. The leaders watching one another very carefully, and I'm telling you, we've got some kind of a race going up front at 74 laps, almost 75 laps in this one. We've got all the leaders running right in the same straightaway, the top 5 cars. Shear seems to be having just a little bit of difficulty setting up coming out of turn 4. We've noticed it now on 2 or 3 occasions. He goes in and takes it up and peaks, and then the car seems to balk just a little bit, and Watson closes right in on him coming off of 4. And the number 67 car of Mike Barless out of Janesville running rather slowly down around the inside. He's staying out of the way so far, not giving anybody any problem, trying to hang in there because he's noticing the number of cars that are dropping out of this one. This attrition rate is looking rather bad here today. And they're looking Barless over rather carefully. They may be going to bring him out of there. If he gets in the way, they will certainly bring him out of there. Right now, he's managing to stay pretty well down on the inside. Well, surprisingly, we've seen no change in the top 5 positions in this race since it began, and soon something has got to give. Something's got to give up front. They're looking each other over, watching and waiting. Obviously, none of them ready to make their move. Just speculating, Watson's strategy out there right now is to stay with Shear, not let him get too far away, not let him get too many cars between them and the traffic. Bob Straight's idea is not to go by anybody right now, but to hang on tight with the leaders and stay right in there in contention in case the leaders have trouble. Trickle eventually will make his move to go by the cars ahead of him, but he is not ready to do it yet. He seems to be very, very satisfied and secure sitting in there in 4th right now, just watching and waiting for the opportunity to present itself. We would hazard a guess that he is going to wait until either just before the pit stop to make a move or just after the pit stop when they get back underway in the second 100 laps. Mark Martin, we'd guess, with the same strategy as Dick Trickle. Wait for the opportunity later in the race and then go for it. As long as he is not too far down, as long as he's staying pretty much in the same straightaway with the leaders. And right now, again, the leaders are into heavy going and looking for those holes in the traffic as they move by Mel Wallen in 25 and Rich Bickle in 15. Wallen giving the leaders a few anxious moments there as he got out a little wide in an attempt to get around Bickle. He had to wait for the leaders, and then he went around him rather easily. There are still 20 cars on deck out there, 20 cars remaining in the race. That means that 8 of them have bitten the dust so far. Fran Preste has continued in the rather battered-looking number 17 machine. But he's hanging in there and counting those laps up because he knows at the end of the race, every lap could count. Watson still tied together. They've never been more than about 10 car lengths apart since the start of this race. And Watson is now hanging on very tight on the number 36 car. Seldom letting Shear get away by more than a car length out there. Bob Strait has dropped back just a hair in car number 188. And Trickle will be watching him very, very carefully. May find that the opportunity will present itself to put that Firebird up into third position here. Strait is continuing to lose just a hair of ground each lap on the fleeing cars of Joe Shear and Dave Watson. Down the back straightaway now, Shear and Watson running pretty well out in the clear, moving very rapidly out there. Bob Strait lagging back a little bit. Now they're going to be completing 100 laps here. They will be completing 100 laps right now. 100 laps. Remember now, between now and lap number 110, between now and lap number 110, we will be seeing first a yellow flag for 2 laps. There's lap 101. The scoreboard malfunctioning a little bit on us now. We're at lap number 101. Shear's completing lap number 102 right now. We're trying to get that scoreboard worked out. They're in lap number 102. And we'll be seeing a yellow coming up here shortly. They'll be completing lap number 103 as they come by. 103 now completed by Joe Shear. And we should be seeing a yellow here pretty quickly. We should be seeing a yellow, and there it is. There is the yellow flag signaling they'll run under the yellow for a couple of laps now, then they will take the red and be able to go in the pits. They will run under the yellow flag for a couple of laps, then the red will be shown, and as soon as the red is shown, they can head for the pits for the 19.5-minute pit stop. All right, in a moment we'll be seeing the red flag, which will be the signal they can go to the pits. The pace car is out front. All right, the red is going to come out now. The red is going to come out, and they will be able to head for the pits this time around. There it is. Red flag is out. They will go into the pits as soon as the last car is in the pits. The 19.5-minute mandatory pit stop will begin. Now's the time to make your pit stop, to visit the refreshment stands, get something good to eat, get something good to drink. We're going to be counting down. You listen for us out there. We'll be counting down the minutes, and then the minutes and seconds as they get into the last minute. And we get them back out on the track and ready to go. They can do any kind of work they wish on the car during this pit stop. And there they go into the pits. Shear, Watson, Strait, Dick Trickle, Mark Martin, all headed for the pits now for a 19.5-minute respite, a break in the middle of this tremendous race. The 5 leaders all in the same lap, not the same lap really, but the same straightaway ever since the beginning of this race. And that, of course, heralds a tremendous final 100 laps. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's on the pit road. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay,
Alan Kulwicki.
Alan Kulwicki.
Time is up. They should be on the line.
Stand! Stand!
All right, they're going to give Al Kulwicki the benefit of the doubt. He was on the pit road and headed when the time counted down. He was moving.
Okay, really interesting. They really had one tail change, and that was by John.
And we lost one car apparently on the restart. We don't know who it is right now. We'll see if we can find out.
Stu, that was John Knauts that had changed that one tire. John's been through a lot and evidently had some sort of blistering on it, so he changed the one tire, and he is going to start the back of this pack.
All right, Shear's been out front and leading it. Nobody has really challenged Joe yet. They've just hung with him. Dave Watson's been sticking very close to him, seldom more than a couple of car lengths separating the two of them. Bob Straight's been doing an outstanding job staying with the leaders. Trickle has looked from time to time like he might be going to try Strait to get by him, but I think Trickle has also been biding his time and waiting for this final 97 laps. Report to Hugh Deary. We're all right. All right, we were speculating what might happen when we get it back underway here. We think we're going to see Watson, Trickle, Martin begin to make some moves. Watch for those opportunities now. They're all staying in the same straightaway, and something's got to give. Shear's been running well, but not all that well. He's been cooling it. We're going to see right now when the flag comes back out how fast he's able to go, because you can bet he's now going to be pushed to the limit by Watson, who has been staying very close to him. Strait has been staying in there with the leaders, I think, very satisfied to maintain that third position. But now he's going to find Trickle all over him when that green flag comes back out, and we would guess that that might be where the first break is going to take place when this one gets back underway, is that Dick Trickle in car number 99 is going to try to get by Bob Strait and move into that third position. If he does, watch for Martin in car number 2 to be right behind him, going by Strait. And then Trickle will be up there working on Watson and Shear and watching them very carefully for the opportunity to go by him.
Let's go, everybody up, come on, everybody up, everybody up, let's go.
All right, back underway in a hurry now. Watch for the moves. Strait is down low. Let's see what's going to happen there. If he stays down there, Trickle's going to try and get in alongside. All right, Trickle closing in on Strait now. Strait is running down low. Strait gets sideways, and there's Trickle. He's by him. Martin right alongside. Bob Strait got into the front straightaway too hard and too low, and both Trickle and Martin have gone by him. It was a goof by Bob Strait in car number 188. He got it into the front straightaway too hard, got it sideways. Trickle and Martin were gone. Trickle now closing on the number 37 of Dave Watson, starting to reel him in a little bit. And watch this, Trickle right on the back bumper of Watson in the 37. Trickle putting the pressure on Dave Watson now, moving on him, looking for an opportunity, not finding it so far, but Shear is flying. He is moving away from the rest of the field out there now. He has taken about a 10 car length lead now, 8 or 10 car length lead on Watson, but Shear is bogging down in the middle of 3 and 4 again, noticeably. Could just be that the tires are getting warmed up now, but Shear again in the middle of 3 and 4 seems to be bogging down a bit. Martin started down to the inside as they headed down the front straightaway. Saw the number 67 car down in there and thought the better of it. And here they come. Shear trying to get away from him a little bit, so he's got some time to work that traffic, and he's coming into that traffic now. Trickle moved to the inside, looking Watson over, didn't find the room. Once again, he's got a wheel up on Dave Watson down the back straightaway. Trickle trying Watson. Oh, look out, Trickle and Watson tangled up as they move through the turn. Trickle got the right front corner of the car into the rear quarter of Watson's number 37. Had to back off and move it out of the way. The black flag is out for Kulwicki in 97. Battle between Trickle and Watson, and Trickle has got black tire mark all over And again, he's alongside as they move down into the turn. Watch him. Into the turn on the inside. This time he tries to make it stick down the inside. Mark Martin is not going to give him room to get back in there. Mark Martin is right in there alongside. Trickle stays in there. Tremendous driving job by Dick Trickle. Staying in alongside of Watson, trying to take that second away from him. Moving into the front straightaway there, wheel to wheel. Look at him working those wheels, working those brakes down there as they move into the turn. And there he goes. Trickle is in the second. Martin is in the third. Dick Trickle into second, Mark Martin into third. Martin now is working on Trickle, almost had a wheel up on him in the in-front straightaway. Martin was almost in alongside of Trickle, and again, he tries for the inside. Shear is moving away from him now, but Trickle is out, running in the clear for the moment. What a battle! Tremendous battle as Trickle tried it once, got into the side of Watson's car, had to back it off, then went by him. With young Martin right on top of it, and Trickle is taking chances out there now. We've got a yellow. We've got a yellow. All right, we do not see what the yellow is for. We'll find out in a moment. It may have been just to get Kulwicki in car number 97 out of there. He has ignored the black flag on several occasions. All right, they're trying to get Alan Kulwicki out of there. We don't know what the problem is with the car, but they're trying to head him for the pits for a check on something. He's got a gasoline leak. He's got a gasoline leak, and he's headed into the pits, and now I believe they'll be able to get it back underway. All right, we're at 119 and holding, 119 laps completed. 81 to go, 81 laps to go. It's going to be a wild, all-out 81 lap sprint to the finish with Shear leading it, one car between him and Trickle, who is flying and taking chances out there. Cadlon moves it over. Trickle goes way up on the wall going through the turn and down the backstretch. Now, they weren't out of it long enough to let the tires cool off, but here they come. And Mark Martin in car number 2 is putting the pressure on Dick Trickle. The interview the other day, Trickle acknowledged that Martin was one of his toughest competitors out there. That kid is good, and he is smooth. That's Dick Trickle, and here's Martin on the inside and almost alongside of Dick Trickle. Oh, I want to tell you, they are going to give him fits out there today. And again, Mark Martin in car number 2 alongside. Right now, Trickle's got more to worry about from Martin than he has about getting by Joe Shear. He's going to have to move it. Martin may, whoa, Shear. Trickle tapped Shear. Shear got off it, getting into the backstretch. He backed off and let him go. Shear is bogging down in the middle of the turns and coming off very slowly. Shear is bogging down in the turns, coming off slowly, and Trickle wrapped him hard, probably paying more attention to Mark Martin than he should have been, and again he wraps Joe Shear. Oh, I want to tell you, again Trickle wraps Joe Shear. Shear coming off the turns. Martin is pushing Trickle, and Trickle is giving Joe Shear a very rough time out there. And again, Mark Martin down on the inside looking for room, and we've got some kind of a battle going up front. Again, they run perilously close through the turns. All right, Joe Shear running his own pace. And again, as Mark Martin keeps the pressure on Dick Trickle, they've steadied down now for several laps, but that's got to break loose, and it's got to break loose soon. Watson is still running in fourth. In fifth is Bob Strait. And again, Mark Martin almost alongside of Dick Trickle coming off the turn that time. And again, he's down there in that center groove. The number 2 car seems to be working as well as anything out there. Martin seems to be able to drive it through the turns down lower than the other cars, and that gives him a definite advantage on this speedway. And again, Martin is almost alongside of Trickle down the back straightaway. Look at him over through the turn. They're caught behind Kulwicki in the number 97 car. And Martin is going to have to move back up in there. He got scraped off on the traffic there and had to move back in behind Trickle and Shear. Joe Shear in car number 36 looking for his 4th victory in the National Short Track Championship. Dick Trickle looking to tie him for 3 victories. And Mark Martin looking for his 2nd victory in this prestigious event. And they run nose to tail, only a car length separating them as they come in to complete lap number 136. 136 completed. 64 remaining. And almost as quick as you can say it, there'll be 63 remaining now as Shear comes down to the line. All right, the leader's into the clear again. Some opportunity to try for passing chances here. Let's see. Oh, Martin bobbled in the middle of the turn that time. Mark Martin got it in a little bit too hard, and the front end got loose and moved up on him. Again, it happens. Joe Shear, the short track tough guy, and he's hanging tough out there right now, I want to tell you. Watson still in 4th. Strait is still in 5th in car number 188. In 6th, we're speculating that Jimmy Sauter has now moved into 6th, and there they go once again. Trickle was down on the inside looking Shear over. He stays down there. Martin is trying to move up alongside of him and block off that top side. Again, Trickle is down alongside coming off the turn. Can't keep it in there. And again, he moves back out. Shuts the door on Martin, who is trying to get in there alongside of him. We've got it going again. Watch him now. Trickle is challenging Shear for the number 1 position out there. And they are running absolutely tied together. Absolutely tied together for the lead out there. And that time Trickle got in too hard, and he got it up well above the running groove as he got it in too hard. Moved it up too high. Trickle is getting anxious. Watching the laps count off on that board up there. They're approaching the 150 lap mark. There's 148 laps completed right there. They're just 52 laps away from the finish of this one. And moving into some heavy going out there now. Let's see what happens in the traffic. Here they come down the line. Moving by the Johnny McPartland number 3 car, which has had more than its share of trouble. Kulwicki way up wide on the wall in car number 97, but getting it down and out of the way. Also up there in car number 25, Mel Wallen. Mel drifting up very wide, right in front of the leaders. He's got to get it out of the way back there. They're jamming up behind him. Wallen going out wide. Shear is caught behind him out there for the moment, waiting for the outside to clear. Now it does clear. Joe Shear moving up around alongside of Wallen, who now sees the leaders coming by, and he drops in behind Rich Pickle. 152 laps completed, 48 remaining, 48 to go in this one. Joe Shear has led it all the way so far in car number 36. Three-time winner of the National Short Track Championship. Driver who knows this track as well as anyone out there. He is under severe pressure from Trickle, but so far Trickle has been unable to get by him. Moving into traffic now. That traffic is keeping him in a line out there for the time being. Shear got up very wide through the middle of that turn and almost gave Trickle an opportunity to get in there. And we've got a yellow out. Yellow out, we got a big piece of metal just coming out of the turn into the front straightaway. Big ugly looking piece of something off of one of those cars, maybe exhaust pipe. Somebody got to get out of there and get it clear just at the bottom edge of that low groove. Mark Martin has been up alongside Trickle on a couple of occasions and just pulled up alongside of him there again to exchange some pleasantries. Martin has been keeping the pressure on Trickle tremendously, and Trickle in turn, very rarely ever see Dick Trickle get shook up about anything, but I believe that a while back there Martin had Trickle a little bit concerned. He was getting up alongside of him, and Trickle got in behind Shear a little bit aggressively a couple of times and gave him a couple of good sharp raps, one of which got him out of shape out there. And look at this, here's Martin alongside of Trickle down the back straightaway. Mark Martin moving in alongside of Dick Trickle down the back straightaway, looking for second. He's got it. Trickle had to back it off. Trickle had to back it off, and he's not staying out of there. He's staying right in there. Still got a wheel up alongside of him. What a battle this is. Trickle refuses to let Martin get away from him. Martin hanging in there on the low side. Can't do it. He couldn't go by him. Had to drop back in behind. What a job of driving. Like a bulldog is Trickle. He will not give it up. He will not give up, and he is still in there in the number 2 position. What a battle between those two. Martin goes wide, and Watson gets by him. Dave Watson getting by Mark Martin as Martin drifted up wide. Martin may be having trouble. He does. Martin is in trouble. He may be coming out of it. Mark Martin is dropping out. He heads for the infield. Mark Martin dropping out. He seems to be having steering problems, and he is coming out, and the yellow is out. He pulled down right in front of Bob Strait, who wrapped him in the tail end a little bit as he was trying to get onto the infield, and Martin has either steering or brake troubles. We're guessing steering. He's been having trouble with the car, working the wheel back and forth. Officials are taking a look at the track over there to see if there is anything slippery, any oil, and in the meantime, Mark Martin, I believe, is going to be heading for the pits for a check on that number 2 car to see what the problem is. Either that, or he is satisfied with it and is going to drop in on the tail end of the line. Running such a beautiful, strong second and third place through all of this, and well, it was a handling problem front end on Mark Martin's car, as we suspected. Bob Moles in the pits has confirmed that. He was talking to Julian Martin Mark's father, who has been in radio contact with Mark, and does confirm that it's a handling problem, a front end problem. And again, Joe Shear seems to be bogging down in the middle of the turns, especially coming off of 4. And Trickle comes moving in very rapidly behind him and closes it right up on his bumper in the middle of each turn. All right, 164 laps, 36 laps to go in this one. 164 completed. And Trickle on the inside puts the wheel up alongside of Joe Shear, but he's going to get scraped off in the traffic, I believe. And Shear goes away from him again, and again Trickle was in alongside, and again in the turn he's trying it low and almost had a wheel up alongside of him. And again in the middle of the turn, Trickle gets a wheel up alongside of Joe Shear, the challenge for the lead. Tremendous battle up front out there, and again, he's got a wheel in alongside of him. Watson is looking them both over. Dave Watson sitting in there behind him. Again, here is Trickle with a wheel alongside. Shear giving him plenty of room on the inside, but he's going to have to do it on the inside if he wants to do it. And again, he cannot get it alongside of him coming down the back chute. Moves it up wide, dives for the inside as they head into the front straightaway, but can't get in there. Challenge right now by Dick Trickle, who is looking over Joe Shear, watching and waiting for the opportunity. He thinks now is the time to go. Coming out of the turn, again they make contact. Right front corner of Trickle's 99 car, tagging ever so lightly the rear end of Shear's number 36. And moving into the turn, the number 17 car is down low. He's signaled to move away, but Trickle has to drop back in behind. And what a battle Joe Shear has on his hands right now, and he goes away from Trickle down the back straightaway. Tremendous battle for the lead. Trickle challenging, putting the pressure on Joe Shear, really making him work for it. Shear into the turn again, that strange hesitation just before he comes off. 173 laps completed, and again Shear goes up very high in the turn. Shear was way up wide in turn 2 that time. Here's Trickle down alongside again, looking for room. Oh, I want to tell you, they are working hard out there. Tremendous, exhausting work in those cars at full speed and in that traffic, trying to find a hole, trying to find enough room to get in alongside and challenge. And Watson watching and waiting just in case. The two leaders have tangled before. There's a possibility they may get into it again, and Watson is going to be ready if that happens. All right, here's Shear again and again. Trickle coming off of 3, gets an opportunity to get in alongside of him. Backs it off. He's trying to rattle Shear. He's trying to shake him up, put the pressure on him, psychological pressure. Seeing the nose of that car come in alongside of you, lap after lap. But Joe Shear has been around a long time. He does not rattle very easily, and despite the pressure that Trickle is putting on him, he's doing a superb job of keeping that number 36 car out in front. And again, Trickle is down on the inside looking for room. They've got some traffic coming up. They're working right now lap number 180. Working lap number 180. Joe Shear under severe pressure from Dick Trickle, hanging on to the lead with 20 laps remaining. 20 to go. And again, Trickle almost down on the inside. There he is. He's in there as far in as he's been so far. He tries it. He can't stay with him on the straightaway. Shear gets away from him down the straightaway. But remember, when Shear goes away from him down the straightaway, there's a danger that he'll get into that turn too hard, and Trickle is watching and waiting for the inside. Again, they are perilously close as they come off. What a battle Tremendous battle between these two top short track stars. Trickle watching the traffic out front, watching and waiting for some clear running room. He wants a little clear room so he can work on that inside, and again he's alongside as they move into the back straightaway. Can't hold it. Trickle can get alongside of him coming out, but he cannot stay with him down the straightaway. Shear is getting away from him on the straightaway. That time, he almost stayed in there all the way down the straightaway that time. And again, he's up alongside, got a wheel up alongside of Shear's door, but he can't stay with him in the straightaways. Look at this, what a battle. Absolutely tremendous wheel-to-wheel battle between two of the greatest in short track racing. Joe Shear in 36, so far outracing Dick Trickle, the Bantam Badger in car number 99. And look out for this, traffic coming up. Heavy traffic coming up as Rich Pickle splits to the outside in car number 15. Again, Trickle looks for room on the inside. Again, there is slower traffic on the inside. He can't find the room down there. And look out, Mel Wallen right out there in the groove. Wallen in 25 has been running very high. Oh, look out, he almost got up into the side of Trickle's car. Wallen running it a little wide, giving the leaders some trouble as they got by him. Now they find the number 9 car out there. They have to split to go around him. John Spear out of Janesville, Wisconsin, and the number 9 car is the traffic now. And again, there's slight contact between the car of Shear, 36, and Trickle. A little bit of contact between the cars that time in the turn. Again, Trickle trying down inside, and again, there's a bit of contact coming off the turn as Trickle gets the long nose of that Trans Am into the tail feathers of Joe Shear's number 36 car. Down on the inside once again. A drag race down the straightaway, and Shear has got more engine. He gets down the straightaway better. Trickle is getting through the turns better, but Shear is getting down the straightaway faster. And now here they come into the straightaway. They'll complete lap number 192. Lap 192. Trickle has got to make his move soon. And look at Watson hanging right in there with both of them. 3 cars, nose to tail for the lead, as they will have just 7 laps remaining. 7 to go. And Joe Shear is out front looking for his number 4 here in Rockford, looking for the 4th. Dick Trickle not about to let him have it if he can help it, and moving in almost alongside. Oh, what a battle. Tremendous battle up front. The greatest we can ever recall seeing at this short track championship. All right, Trickle has moved out wider now, possibly for a dive down across as they come out. There will be 4 laps remaining as they come across the line this time. 4 to go. 196, 4 remain. It is Shear. Trickle on the inside again, but he can't get by him. Shear doing it on straightaway speed. Again, Trickle is almost alongside, and again, he can't stay in there. Shear is keeping him scraped off in the traffic. Tremendous driving job by Joe Shear. I want to tell you, if he makes it, and again, Trickle is down on the inside, and they race almost wheel to wheel across the line. White flag will be coming out next lap around. Trickle is not about to give it up. He goes by Shear in the back straightaway. Trickle in 99 going by Shear. Shear diving right back down to the inside. White flag, last lap, 1 lap to go. Oh, what a finish. What a finish. Trickle is way up high. Shear trying to get by him. It's not going to work. Here they come. Final lap down the line. It's going to be Dick Trickle in car number 99. Oh, I don't believe it. Oh, what a finish. Dick Trickle, 2 laps from the finish. 2 laps from the finish. Trickle made his move, got down alongside, took it away from Shear by the narrowest of margins. Do not believe it. Boy, oh boy.
That's what we're about to do again. And I got one more question. Good morning.
the rag out of your hand. Yeah.
Look at your hat. Bill, are you ready? I know.
Someone else is new. God.